Hello, my name is Hulya Onel and I'm a naturalist at Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park, which is one of Caddo Parish parks. Welcome to an introduction to acrylic painting program. Today we're going to paint rabbits because of upcoming Easter. The substrate is 10 by 8 canvas. The paints that we're going to need are burnt sienna, burnt umber, raw sienna, yellow ochre, deep yellow, Hooker's green hue permanent, phthalo blue, titanium white, and permanent black. The brushes that we're going to need are various 3/4 of an inch flat brush for the background, mop brush for a little bit of blending, and number 8 and number 2 flat brushes, number 8 filbert, and a liner 0.5, and number 2 bristle brush. We're going to just do the flowers with this. Okay, we're going to paint this picture or something like this picture, but instead of 3 rabbits, we won't have enough time. I will paint just this one and this one. So we will have 2 rabbits closer to each other in a flowery prairie. And I printed some rabbit photographs to see all the details. Okay, as usual, I draw some sketches with proportion indicators for you on a piece of paper the same size as your canvas. Okay, let's look at this one first. The head of the rabbit is kind of like an egg, pointy on one side, round on the other. So this is from here to here, it is 1.5 inches. And here is, this is 2 inches round, and here is perfectly round, 2.5 inches, the third part. And then the second one has only 2 parts. Again, 1.5 inch the head and 2.5 inches the body. And in the background, field is ending here with some tall grass behind, and in front of them we're going to add some blotches of colors, that nothing in detail. The rabbits will be the detail, the background will be very blurry. If you're ready, let's begin. Okay, first I'm going to paint the background very, very lightly. I wet my brush a little bit, and I'm going to paint the sky very, very light. This is too dark. The bottom part is very, very light green. Here is up the sky, and from here down, from almost right in the middle, sky is a little bit smaller. I'm going to use very, very light brown because this is what the rabbit is gonna. Okay, there are kind of like an egg. The head is like an egg, and then we have another kind of like a circle here. And then the rest of the rabbit. feel like this. And the ears are two, I don't know, two boats or leaves. Yeah, it kind of like a leaf right there and right there. Okay, so this is the first one, silhouette. Let's put the silhouette of the second one, which is, let's draw its body first. And then the head, like an egg. It's kind of leaning towards the ground, and it's and its ears are, again, two leaves towards back. It's kind of like this. So this ear is a little bit too small. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So here are the two rabbits. Let's start doing the details. Okay, I'm going to do all the details of the rabbits and just add some grass and flowers to the surrounding. Maybe a couple of flowers we can throw in if we have time. Okay, so now for the details. I'm going to use my short, I think 1/4 inch brush, or 1/2 inch. Yeah, this is 1/2 inch. I'm going to use this brush for painting the rabbits. I'm going to paint very dark first, because this is burnt umber. Because we're going to do the lighter hair on top of it. This is the With my smaller brush, now I'm going to do the darker fur first, which would be the coat that's under. This is burnt umber. I'm going to mix burnt umber with black to make it darker, really, really dark. Okay, this needs to dry a little bit. Too wet. My paint, it's picking up my... Around the eyes are always lighter color, so I'm going to just
Cottontail rabbits are herbivores. They eat plants based on the season, like wheat, clover, timothy, sedges, and in the winter time, since they do not hibernate, and they have to keep on eating, so they eat twigs and sprouts and berries that grow in the winter time, and they also eat fruits that have fallen from the trees. In addition, they eat their feces too for additional nutrition. In fact, they feed them to their babies too. The babies are called kits, by the way.
let's make this. Now I'm adding some white here. It's too... With my liner, I'm going to put the darker under hair first and then add the rest of the lights later. I'm making it, in order to make it a little bit darker, I'm just I'm making sure the white around the eye is still there.
Rabbits are not very vocal animals. They don't make a lot of sound, but if they are caught, they will give out a high-pitched scream. Rabbits look like rodents, but they're not rodents. They're classified as logomorphs. Although their incisors grow continuously, just like the rodents do, there's a difference between the incisors of the logomorphs and uh, the rodents. Logomorphs have double incisors. The one in the front you see also have one in the back.
I'm using burnt sienna to finish the darker parts. The tip of the ear is not exactly pointy, it's kind of roundish. And it goes down like this. And then it gets really narrow just where it is attaching to head.
Having double incisors back to back help them chew the plant material better. It is that time of the year you will see a lot of baby rabbits hopping around or find rabbit nests which are just a very shallow indentation on the ground. When you find a rabbit nest or babies scattered around, you can just find the nest and move it to a safer place in the vicinity. Uh, a mom will find the babies. You can carry the lining material to the new nest and cover it with twigs.
This is totally the back of the ear. And it has some.
You won't see mom. Don't look for it. It will come and go, feed the babies and go. It comes only twice a day to feed the babies and goes out foraging. But it will find the nest if you move it to a side, like by the fence or somewhere out of the harm's way.
But the tips are really dark. So I'm going to put some darkness at the edges to the tips like this.
The babies grow up very fast. In 2 weeks, they will start eating by themselves, hopping around. They hardly drink mama's milk anymore. They will look like, you will know they are babies, but they will be able to take care of themselves, eating the plants in your backyard. So if you just leave them alone and keep them safe, they will go on their way in a short time.
Let me get rid of this too much square here. Okay, let's keep putting the darker parts and then we're gonna add the lighter ones. Okay, now let's do the parts where sun is hitting. Okay, the tip of the fur should not be covered, so we're going to start from the end and then go upward and inward. Slowly the light disappears. Maybe it is hitting some part here too. The curve of the tail is a little bit darker. I'm going to use kind of like black here to make it really darker. Kind of blend the dark in. But there is a white patch at the tip of the tail. I think this rabbit is good enough. Maybe I can add some brown here. This is burnt umber that I'm using now. I don't want this abrupt changes. Neckline is lighter. It's good. Let's take care of the dark part of the ears. This part is really dark. Some darker parts here. Lighter tan color inside. And at the edges here, it is kind of light. And the light is really, you can see the curve here. Light is hitting this ear. Let's put some dark here to make this curve really visible. And the tips. I'm using Filbert 8. We're going to do the dark fur, which will be I'm doing the ear for this. For inside the ear, where it is really light, I'm using burnt sienna mixed with titanium white. In between two ears is really dark. use some ochre here. Okay, this is messed up. I'm just gonna get rid of this color here. This is not what I wanted. Just trying to get rid of that color. Okay, okay, I'm using my, it seems like the filbert is working best for doing the fur. So this is the darkest part, the back. I'm going to paint a little bit more dark. This is burnt sienna. This is just burnt sienna. For green, I'm using the Hooker's Green Hue Permanent. Okay, let's try some Of course, if you want, you can just paint the bottom really dark. I'm using burnt umber at the bottom to make it a little bit darker. Job not very regular. Just making kind of crosses with my brush. You can use your bristle brush too to do this. A little bit lighter green. Tons of, different shades of green will help. Then you can while this is still wet, you can use your brush. You can just use your brush as edge. Kind of like grassy. Let me see if I can blend in. Let's put some flowers here and there. Wild flowers, herbs, weeds. Just some colors. It doesn't have to be. I'm going to use my bristle brush for the flowery looking things. Let's add some deep yellow. Maybe some blues.
Rabbits are a major link in the food chain, and they are a good food source for foxes, owls, hawks, coyotes. Uh,
Of course, this weird thing, it looks kind of weird because there's nothing behind the rabbits, which is not natural. So let's add grass, but very carefully behind the rabbit. I'm using still the same green, but the tip of the grasses are too thick. Let's make the tips thinner with let's add extensions so they're a little bit more detailed. Now that we put the background, we can add some details to the grass part. tip of the grass should be thinner than the bottom. We have completed an introduction to acrylic painting program. I hope you enjoyed painting your rabbits. Thank you for joining me and see you next time.